right, fourth graders, this is your video for Wednesday. I don't know what the actual date is, but it's Wednesday. We did not do a video on Tuesday. I wasn't feeling very well, but I did give you an assignment. I texted it to your parents. So, but today I'm going to kind of go over some of the things that I sent in that text. And then we're going to go over our grammar lesson for the day, okay? All right, so in the text I sent to your parents yesterday, I talked about a science experiment. We are going to do another project that is going to be a double grade. One part will be a grade for science for Miss Jill, and the other part will be a grade for me for writing, okay? So I asked you to choose a science experiment. There are all kinds of science experiments you can find online. Pinterest is my friend. There's lots of experiments you can find. You want to try to use things that you have at home since you can't really go out and buy things right now. And there should be experiments that use just stuff that you have laying around at home. So kind of use your imagination, see what you can come up with. You are going to do your experiment and video yourself doing it. That is going to be your grade for Miss Jill. Okay, that's the science part of the grade. The grade that is for me is you are going to write a almost like a how-to paper. Okay, so how did you do this science experiment? And if you look at what the video is staring at right now, on my board I have outlined a paper for you. Okay, you don't have to use this exact outline, but this kind of gives you a place to start. Okay, all right, so we are working on paragraphs. That's a big thing that we're going to do in 5th grade, and I know we haven't done a whole lot in 4th grade yet as far as multi-paragraph papers, but we're trying to get there. So if you look on my board, I have it outlined for you into 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph is, how did you decide on your experiment? Did you find it on Pinterest? Did you talk to your parents? Did they help you come up with it? How did you decide that this was the experiment you wanted to do? Did it look like it would be easy? Did it look fun? What made you choose it? Also in this paragraph, you're going to tell me what you needed. What did you have to get together to complete this experiment? Okay, so that's paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 is going to be the steps that you take to complete your experiment. So first, I did this. Next, this happened. Then I did this. Then paragraph 3 is going to be your finally, the end of your experiment. What happened? What was the reaction? Depending on what kind of experiment you have chosen, will depend on what happens or what your reaction is. But paragraph 3 is going to be kind of the end of your experiment. So it just follows right along with paragraph 2. Okay, so the steps you take, paragraph 2, and then paragraph 3 is that final step, the end of your experiment. Then paragraph 4, was it a success? Did it happen like you thought it was going to happen? Did the experiment work like they said it would? Was it hard? Was it easy? Did you have to change anything? Could anyone do this? Those are just some ideas to put in that last paragraph, okay? All right, so that's just an outline of how you could potentially organize your paper. I'm giving you a little bit of freedom here. You can kind of change those paragraphs up depending on your experiment, but if you have a hard time coming up with your paragraphs, this is a great outline to kind of follow. So you can pause the video here, you can write this outline down, you can take a screenshot of it, whatever you need to do to kind of save it. And that way, when after you finished your experiment and you sit down to write your paper, you kind of have it all lined out. Your science experiment and paper are not going to be due until not this coming up Tuesday, but the next. So you have 2 weeks from yesterday to get this completed. So you have plenty of time. So if your experiment is one that's going to take a little bit of time, you've got it. Okay, you've got 2 weeks. You can always turn things in early, but you have 2 weeks until this is due. I don't know the exact date right now. I will have to look and get back to you. That's that. History, you're going to do another history warm-up page. So you've got 2 questions every day. You're going to answer those questions and send it to me. Some of the questions will be things that we talked about at the beginning of the year. Some of the questions are going to be things that you're going to have to research and figure out on your own. So you're going to answer those questions and send it back to me. I told your parents I would send it to them. I forgot yesterday, but I will remember today. I'm going to send that to them. So that's for history. Reading, you need to be reading your book, The Jungle Book. Read that next section. Remember to be keeping up with your packet, your questions, okay? Okay, now we're going to move to grammar. So remember, we finished up chapter 7, which was all about adjectives. Remember, adjectives modify nouns or describe. They tell us more about nouns. And today we are going to move to the next chapter, which is chapter 8, and we are going to learn all about adverbs. So right now I'm going to be on page 312. If you wish to follow along, that's great. If not, just watch and listen, and then I will tell you where you need to be as far as homework in just a minute. Okay. All right, so we said adjectives modify or describe nouns. Adverbs, if you see that last part where it says verbs, okay? Adverbs modify or add to verbs, okay? They tell us how, when, and where. So just like adjectives answer some questions, adverbs do too. They tell us how, when, and where. Many adjectives end with ly. Not all of them, just many of them, okay? Words like sadly, slowly, carefully, those are all adjectives. So when you see an ly word, chances are, and when I say ly, I mean end with ly, chances are it's an adjective. Not all adjectives have to end with an ly, and we're going to look at that in just a minute. But they do have to modify or add to a verb, and they answer a question. They tell us how, when, or where. Okay? All right. And just like with adjectives, let's see. So this is I'm sorry, I'm writing in the background. My setup's all messed up tonight because it's late and other people were using my kitchen table. Okay, so look at this real quick. Okay, so when I outline a sentence skeleton, remember I have my subject and my verb, okay? So that's my sentence skeleton. Adjectives are diagrammed under the noun or the subject. Adverbs are going to be diagrammed under my verb. Okay? So it's easy enough, right? Okay. Let us turn to page 313, and we are going to go over some of the oral drill. So page 313, I'm going to erase this. Okay. So page 313, part A. It asks us to tell which words are adverbs, okay? And then it wants us to say, does it tell us how, when, or where? The first one says, my little sister sang joyously. My little sister sang joyously. I wish I had these written out. Okay, so my little sister sang joyously. I'm looking for an adverb that tells how, when, or where. Remember how I said that a lot of adverbs end with an ly? There's my adverb. Okay, what does it tell me? It tells me how my sister sang, right? Yeah, she sang joyously. All right, let's look at number 2. That horse ran fast yesterday. Okay. Let's work this all out. What's my subject? Horse, right? Okay. What did the horse do? It ran. Okay. That is an adjective. It tells me which horse. Now I'm looking for adverbs, words that tell how, when, or where. Good. Fast tells me how the horse ran. And yesterday tells me when the horse ran. So neither of these words end with ly, but they are adverbs because they answer how, when, or where. Okay? Fast tells me how. Yesterday tells me when. Okay. The sun shone brightly today. Let's go all the way through again. What's my subject? Good. Sun. What did the sun do? It shone. Adverbs, how, when, or where. Good. Brightly, so that tells me how. And today tells me when. Okay. Remember, this is, what is this? This is an adjective. It's also known as an article. There's 3 articles. What are those? A, an, and the. Very good. All right, last one. The children played happily. What's my subject? Children. What did the children do? Played. Adverb. A word that tells me how, when, or where. Good. Happily tells me how, and it also ends with an ly. Okay? So that's what we need to remember. Adverbs modify verbs. They tell how, when, and where. Okay. Now we're going to look at 3 short sentences to diagram. Okay. Now these particular sentences are going to be pretty simple because there's no adjectives in them. So we're just looking at subject, verb, and adverb. The sentences that you are going to diagram for your work today, they are going to have some adjectives in them. So you need to be careful and you need to diagram all of it. Okay, so Helen came yesterday. What's my subject? Good. Helen. I am sorry. My setup is really bad. Helen. Okay. my verb. Okay. When? Yesterday. I'm going to diagram it under the verb that it modifies. Sorry. Okay. All right. Susan is here now. What is my subject? Susan. What is my verb? It's a linking verb. Is. Okay. Adverbs tell me how, when, and where. Where is Susan? She's here. When? Now. Very good. So those two words don't end with ly, but they tell me how, when, or where. All right, last one. We listened carefully. Subject, we. What did we do? We listened. How? Carefully. All right, very good. So you are going to do for me, let me take this and erase it. Your grammar for today is going to be page 313 to 314. Sorry. Okay. Page 313 to 314. You are going to do written practice A. I told you I'm tired. A and B. Okay? And A and B are going to be just like what we just went over. Okay? Part A, all you're doing is writing the adverbs that you find and telling, does it tell me how, when, or where? Okay? Part B, you are going to diagram the sentences. There are 4 sentences in Part B that you are going to diagram. Now remember, when you diagram, you're diagramming everything we've learned so far, okay? So these 4 sentences, you need to be looking for subject, verb, adjectives, and adverbs, okay? They're not going to have direct objects or predicate nouns right now, but you need to be looking for subject, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, okay? All right, so page 313 to 314, written practice, A and B. Get that finished for today. Continue to work on your history, your science, and your reading for this week. Y'all have a great day.